Okay. Good morning again, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning, Geshe.
Morning, Geshe.
Morning, Geshe.
Everyone got any fresh because everyone got coffee. Okay, everyone come over here. Anything you want, you got it? Okay. If some don't want to sit on the chair, you can sit on the chair. Marco, you okay? You want to sit in the chair? Yeah. Good. Okay. Anyway, wonderful, beautiful day. Right? How about we just today walk around like 100 times? How about we can go to Haki?
Yeah.
We love to Haki. There are a lot of close to the Haki. Anyway, it's wonderful. Everyone have good motivation to benefit all mothers and beings. Therefore, I'm going to pray, practice meditation. According to Buddhism, motivation is important. Why? Because if you have motivation, you can do action. Without motivation, usually some happen to just accident, otherwise we don't really do. Therefore, motivation is very important. Therefore, why I'm coming here, why I'm doing this, to become a good person. It's not means you're a bad person. You're already good, but good has no limit. What do you think is limit?
Yes.
Is good as limit? As much as we can go, right? Therefore, good has no limit. Therefore, we need more, better. Therefore, why I'm doing this? I'm a good person, but I want to be a better person, more better. And what I'm doing, if I'm a good person, what I'm going to do? Do some meaningful life. Now, what do you mean meaningful life? I'm doing my whole life meaningful. I didn't do any, not meaningful lives. Yes, sir, you're a good person. But are you doing meaningful life? Nothing. I'm just kidding. The two ways to understand meaningful life. According to our regular life, the meaningful life, keep your healthy, do your job. Don't do bad things. You're doing meaningful life. This is our regular life. They're only doing, I think they're all doing that. According to Buddhism, it's just just waste time. Remember, your hard working is not effort. You're doing so hard working. You just hard working. They don't say, yeah, I'm not an effort. I do 8 hours work, doing that, doing things. Yeah, we don't call this effort. It's just you're a hard working person. According to Buddhism, you're a hard working person. Like 20 coming years, you are almost sleepy, looking then 2 hours or 1.5 hours, 10 years. It's not easy. You have to get up this morning early, get ready, come here. This is like we call effort. Why? We're doing something for Dharma. According to Buddhism, whatever you do something for Dharma, it is an effort. it is also doing meaningful job. Therefore, I want a good person, you're really good, right? And we need to be more good. The purpose to benefit Mother Simply. Why? As we talked about last week, Buddhachida, I think you already Buddhisattva, right? Who lost Buddhachida vows? You know, broken every day. You know, broken. How you keep usually, and especially for the Tantra. However, you receive the vows, your master, you have to keep as same as you keep your eyeball. Eyeball?
Yeah, eyeballs.
Eyeballs, right? You have to keep like that. If you do like that, then you can get really the result. Otherwise, you get blessings, the influence, but we don't really see the results immediately. Or doesn't matter. Therefore, I hope you isn't broken yet with the Shita vows. You too last week? Does he hear last week? Maybe he too far. No, he saw the topic. And he slept. Anyway, what I'm talking about. Then we, according to Buddhism, think we need to have a very open mind and very wise mind. Then that mind is we call the Chitta mind. Then we already develop Buddhachita mind last week. If you didn't broken yet, you still Buddhisattva. You can be not exactly that you're very good person. And the Buddhisattva means, they call some quality, their vows or their mind, they call Buddhisattva. Example, we call mom. Who has the baby, we call mom. In other words, doesn't matter. You call dad, daddy. If you have baby, son or daughter, we call mom, daddy. Because the baby makes them become mom and dad. And one of the quality of your mind, you call Bodhisattva. The mind we call Bodhicitta. And Bodhicitta is the very important mind to develop our happy, meaningful life. Therefore, I want a good person, purpose to benefit others. Why? They're always kind, directly, indirectly. Anyway, he said, no, indirectly, they're not kind for me. Whatever we eating right now, whatever you're wearing your clothes, someone make it, you don't do that. Right? We eat the good, everyone eat the very salad and vegetables. Do you grow your backyard? Most no, right? Someone very hardworking, hard kid a lot of bags, working very hard. They grow, then they bring for us. If you think that way, oh, that makes sense. Something the other can also do for us. You say, I pay because who give you job? Someone make you get some job. He said, I work for him. No, usually we work for us. But we think, I work for them. Usually because we work for our paychecks. Therefore, you don't have job, someone doesn't, you don't have paycheck. Therefore, directly, indirectly, everyone very kind. Then we say, I want to pay back for them. How? I don't have the ability to a power or energy right now. Then who has? We call Buddha. Bodhisattva, there, I want to become like that. Then come thought with Bodhicitta mind. Then we go to, if you're not broken yet, go to meditation, okay? Meditation makes our practice become perfect. Also, especially, In order to keep the Bodhisattva vows, continue, you need to remind every day, 3, 4 times. Therefore, if you don't remind, you forgot, right? Everything read, you don't remind, you forgot. Therefore, everyone, visualization, of course, I want you guys just, like scan your mind for your body. Just relax. Whole body, you can just like watch through or remind or awareness of your own body and your mind urban connection. Then remember or awareness, front of us, we have a lot of Buddha images. Think that images, not just only the pictures, the statues, real Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. You are the front of them. Even though above the us, all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they're looking for us. Those away to refuge. Then around us, also all mother sentient beings. Behold the female, you can think they're all your mothers. Behold the male, you think they're all your fathers. Human beings, animals, birds, around with us. Then awareness or remember those all mother sentient beings, same as like me, to wish to happy and healthy and successful life. Therefore, I want to also do something for them. Then, do we have the ability to do something for them? No. Who has from the refuge? The images, not really image, is a real Buddha Shakyamuni. He's holding the Lama, Lama Savaramachi, Lama Yishi, Avalokiteshvara, Lama Tsongkhapa. Manjushri, Thara, Buddha Maitreya. Then think I'm going to take refuge for them. The first, we're going to recite the first 2 lines refuge. Keep your mind. I'm taking refuge. Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Until enlightenment. Okay? In the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Oh, not yet. First, we go to 3 times the fourth line, okay? And when we say the words, we try to awareness or a number of the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha as we visualization. In the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and in the approach. In the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, enter in the approach. The moment, the think or concentration, the meaning of that. For that, we create the law of merits, among merit. Then we have dedication, however, acquire the merits, take refuge, and whatever to practice for 6 professions. I'm going to dedication, therefore, benefit all mothers and champions. The second one, okay? Through forgiveness, through Buddha, through that thought is being called the merit of bodhicitta. Whatever occurred the merit, I'm going to use for enlighten benefit other sentient beings. That kind of thought we call bodhicitta. Through the thought to action, then keep also that thought or commandment that called bodhicitta vows. Okay? The moment keep that thought, whatever occur the merits, for that I'm going to use for dedication to enlighten one for all mothers and beings. So to
meditate on that kind of mind again and again all the time. So if you do like that kind of meditation, then that will bring up some kind of feeling to your body and your mind.
So
if you get that special feeling, and that's the sign of having done the practice of meditation.
Sanjay Chu Kendelaya Japsudu Jamdu Payanda Ani Lima Yusumji Partnership took in Yamishi Peki Zawate and the Simshan Tamjula Paya which is the Sanjay Kombato Vichura shows those Samsati Kana Tetawina 더 상주 무슨 곰 세대 연구를 들리는 라레나 따라오는 염내체에서.
So the merit that you have accumulated by taking refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha and engaging in the practice of the 6 perfections through your body, speech, and mind, and for the achievement of enlightenment to benefit all sentient beings. So you keep your mind in that state when you do the meditation on bodhicitta.
Okay.
So now you have generated that mind, so you have become Bodhisattva.
Okay. Hey, Bodhisattva was. Good morning.
So in order to preserve this mind, or to not let it degenerate, what kind of practice you have to do? That's what we were talking about last time, right? So either you forget it or you degenerate it. So if you keep those vows properly by remembering the vows and keeping them in your mind and holding them in your mind and protecting your bodhicitta all the time, which means like having bodhicitta in your mind all the time as much as possible. So if you do that, then you'll be very happy in this life. You'll be happy in the future lives. So that's like in the Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life. It says if you have generated bodhicitta, once you have generated bodhicitta, then you go from happiness to happiness.
Okay, we love to happiness to happiness. Right here. Nobody wants. Everyone wants, right? We need to happiness to happiness. We don't want to hear, we don't want to see, we don't want to experience any challenge, bad challenges. We need to but we always have challenge. Okay. That indeed any munyama song, indeed, Yamacho song on a culture with Tadama, you are not Tamunda. Kazanka, Niba Munyama, Sumi Tala, Minjuku, Lajanile, said your cousin should do it. Remember, we're going to recite how you keep the vows to not degenerate. Okay, what page?
It's outline 432. That's page 658 in the blue book.
Okay, who has the book? And which book? If you don't find, raise your hand. What page number? The yellow book. Yeah, this book. That book. Same. Yeah, same book. Yeah, that. What page number? The yellow one?
Outline 432.
What page number? What page number?
Oh, well, I have it in the brown book. It's page 716.
Yes, the brown book is 7 to 16. That's same you. Yeah, you have 2 books. He has 2 books. Yeah, give us another one. Give me one book. Okay, do you guys have a book? You have most electronically. What page number?
Outline 432.
Laura, what page number? You guys got it? Steve? You have a book?
Yeah, 658, I think.
So till Geshe say stop, you keep on reading.
You might, if I don't understand English, then
So just start
Just keep on reading. So until the end, maybe the last part where it talks about the dedication.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just to get an idea about the Bodhisattva vow. So just read through it, and then we can discuss afterwards.
일단 네개 배워서 된대로 소소비야. 차와는 또 놀라요. 이게 너무만 봐서 제사요. 라바가 차와요. 소소는 도마요. 소소 뒤와요나. 이거 손음데 지금 가서 지어서나 아니 산재마도 수직에 나가도 돼. something 말이스.
So there's a huge amount of merit that we create just by reading it. There's a benefit of reading the text explained in the King of Prayer. So like even if you could read it or just see it or just touch it, the amount of merit that you accumulate is inconceivable. So it's like we can't measure how much merit we accumulate by just reading it. So that since there's such a great benefit, so let's just read through it first. And so this is the reason why Lama Zopa Rinpoche advised to start to write the text in gold. This is the reason.
Okay, if you don't have the book, you can also just listen what they say. Okay, read a little bit slowly, not just not like Tibetan. So once we do Tibetan puja here, the Bob's mom come here. You guys too fast. Because they also read the Tibetan very fast. But when you're reading, also remember the meaning. You guys very good. Usually with Tibetan, we do puja prayers. Most we don't understand the meaning. But at the Western, if you don't understand the meaning, you say, I don't understand what they talk about. You have no interest. It's sure you all understand the meaning. Therefore, it's not enough only the meaning. The understanding meaning makes some our mind, some thoughts, some doubts. It's good benefit. Okay? Okay. Okay.
How to keep your vows from degenerating once you've acquired them. There are two sets of advice. Advice related to the aspiration form of bodhicitta vows. Advice related to the involvement form. Advice related to the aspiration form of bodhicitta. 1. Advice on creating the cause for keeping the bodhicitta you have developed from degenerating during this present life. And 2. Advice on creating the causes never to be separated from bodhicitta in your remaining rebirths. Advice on creating the cause for keeping the bodhicitta you have developed from degenerating in this life. There are 4 items as follows. Recalling the benefits of developing bodhicitta, retaking the vows 3 times each day and 3 times each night, so that you do not lose the bodhicitta you have already developed and increase it as well. Preventing your development of bad thoughts, such as feeling when another wrongs you, I shall not work for his sake. Building your accumulations in order to increase the bodhicitta you have already developed. Advice on creating the causes never to be separated from bodhicitta in your remaining births. There are 2 subsections. 4 actions producing black karmic results to be abandoned. These are trying to dupe your guru, abbot, ordination master, etc. with lies. Feeling distressed when others do something virtuous. Saying unpleasant things to bodhisattvas out of hostility. Acting deceitfully without any altruism. 4 actions producing right karmic results to be cultivated. These are vigilantly abandoning deliberate lies, keeping honest intentions toward sentient beings and not deceiving them, developing the attitude that bodhisattvas are teachers and are giving them due praise, causing sentient beings who are maturing under your care to uphold bodhicitta, the advice related to the involvement form of bodhicitta. Here, Kabche Pavanko Rinpoche spoke in detail about the necessity for studying how to keep one's bodhisattva's vows properly, and how not to sully any of the 18 main vows or 16 minor vows. Then he continued, as you said, though I have taught you the means to liberation, know that your own liberation depends on you. Practice whatever you can so that my teachings will not have been in vain. Just as traders, etc., load their horses, mules, and the rest within the carrying capacity of these animals, each of you, whether of excellent, middling, or inferior mind, must at least practice within your capabilities. But above all, make bodhicitta your main practice. You must pursue any of the other meditation subjects in the knowledge that they will assist your bodhicitta. First, you should devote yourself properly to a spiritual guide and put into practice the instructions he gives you. Then develop the wish to extract some essence from your optimum human rebirth. Should you not extract that essence now, it is certain that after death, for this rebirth will not last much longer, you will not be able to choose where you will be reborn. If you are reborn in the lower realms, you will suffer intolerably. You must therefore seek some protection and some means of saving yourself from this. If perchance through your exertions in those methods, you are not reborn in the lower realms, the upper realms also have their sufferings, and after such a rebirth, you will reborn yet again in the lower realms. Contemplate this in detail, and you will surely want to be liberated from cyclic existence. But it is not sufficient for you alone to be liberated, because all sentient beings are nothing less than your kind parents. Not only is it contemptible to thoughtlessly desert them, but also it is not enough that you alone should be liberated from samsara. Thus, it is fitting that you enter the Mahayana now, because you will have to enter it sooner or later in any case. The only gateway to the Mahayana is the development of bodhicitta, so you must work hard at some means of developing this. If you manage to experience effortless bodhicitta, you will then, left to yourself, be able to endure for a long while the hardships associated with working for the sake of sentient beings. However, you would find it most unbearable that in the meantime these beings, your aged mothers, who were tormented by suffering. This is the special type of bodhicitta and will make you want to enter the secret tantra path, the stream of all the yanas. Thus you will receive the 4 initiations from a fully qualified Vajra master in order to be ripened. And in this way, you will actually come to attain an approximation of the unification, a coupling together of clear light and the illusory body. To ripen yourself even further, to obtain the actual unification, you must meditate on the generation stage and so on. Through these, you will be certain to achieve the state of the unification of the no more learner in your one short lifetime in this degenerate age. In order to achieve this, before the actual stage of the unification, you must have achieved the approximation of the unification, the clear light and the pure and impure stages of the illusory body. But to be mature enough to do this, you must definitely have progressed fully in the coarser levels of the generation stage maturation, and you must have preceded this by obtaining the 4 pure initiations that will definitely implant the seeds of the 4 kayas in you. But in order to become an exceptional vessel of candidate fit enough to receive these, you must have purified your mind stream beforehand with the common path, bodhicitta. Thus, you must have received the causes for generating this bodhicitta, so much compassion that you cannot bear all sentient beings to suffer agonies and so forth. The foundation for developing compassion is your inability to bear the general and specific sufferings of samsara that you yourself have to undergo. This should move you to renounce samsara. But before this, you must have developed fear and dread of the sufferings of the lower realms. And how could you develop any of these without having first contemplated the law of cause and effect and the uncertainty of when you will die? You must develop these things. The sole cause for even thinking of beginning on such a path is contemplating how difficult it is to gain an optimum human rebirth, something entirely meaningful. And to develop all these, you must have developed yourself properly in both thought and deed to a virtuous spiritual guide. Thus, you must not reach for the higher levels right away. You should train your mind by experiencing the progressions of the path, beginning with devotion to a spiritual guide. Experiencing the progression of the path means the warm feeling that if I study this particular meditation topic for a while, I will develop it in my mind stream. Then starting at the beginning and moving onward, commence at the starting point of the Lamrim, proper devotion to a spiritual guide. Try to develop some contrived insight into each meditation topic. Train by practicing retrospection meditation on your already developed insights. And for those topics into which you are yet to develop insight, try training to develop experience into them as well. In this life, we have met with these stainless teachings in both Sutra and Tantra, which are completely error-free. With such an opportunity, what a pity if you do not develop even an instinct for the secret Tantras. Why shouldn't you manage at least review meditation into the generation and complete sensations of the Tantra of a tutelary deity such as Guru Samaja, Hiroka, and Yamataka? Be a person who does review meditations and all the teachings. This would take a practice that integrates everything into the one sitting. When you have managed to develop contrived insight into the topics up to bodhicitta, you should then go straight back to the beginning again and gain uncontrived insight into each of these topics. This way of working through the path is like traveling along the street more than once in the same direction. First, develop insight into the topics leading up to bodhicitta in this manner, and then, in addition, work hard at the 2 stages of the path in the secret tantras. If you do this, you will develop in your mind stream the extraordinary realizations described in tantras and in the masterworks of great adepts. And just like Ensapa, the victorious one, and his followers, you too will very soon be able to make manifest the state of Vajradhara, unification, during your short lifetime in this degenerate age. Now we should pray that we will lead all 6 types of beings who exert the very boundaries of space itself to the state of peerless Buddhahood, and that we will pacify their individual sufferings. And for that reason, we will develop bodhicitta, engage in the peerless tasks of a child of the victorious one. Thus, I want us to recite the final prayer from engaging in the deeds of the bodhisattva. Should keep going. This was not the practice of my own precious Lama, but it seems to have something done by the past occupants of the Ganden throne and their followers. This reason to revive the practice, I ask you to recite these verses without any distraction. He then led us in the dedication prayer from the great work, engaging in the deeds of bodhisattvas. We offer a mandala in thanksgiving for having received the teachings and make further prayers, verses of auspiciousness, etc. With the foregoing, he conferred the kindness of the teachings, the noble tradition of the path and stages to enlightenment, the heart of the whole doctrine, which will not disappear even at the end of time, dispelling the darkness of the 3 realms and the illuminating them ever brighter.
Okay, how is it? You pass to reading? 제가 아는 이나가 단지宣주 모여야 돼. 그래서宣주를 내가追는데 내가 줘가 담아든 모여 말이야.
So the last part here is talking about the at the conclusion, talking about the dedication part. So this is according to the Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life by Shantideva, and there's 10 chapters, and the 10th chapter is the chapter on dedication. So to dedicate, you have to have something to dedicate, a substance or something to dedicate without a substance, you can't dedicate. So here at the conclusion, it is important to dedicate because you have accumulated all this merit by going through all the practice and studying of the Lamrim. So at the end, and you dedicate all that merit in a proper way. So to pray, you don't have to have a substance. You can pray for anything without merit.
Okay. 아니 상속을 생계는 지금 많이 마시고 대 많이 마셔볼까 가르치고 그래서 아니 들리죠 원하는 경 아니 나와메기 남나반 주지 센투절이야 수주 고마토에 제도래 되게 샤지고 샘당 신인 댄서당 간제 람람기 고신이 되는 주수주고 받을 냠슬라는 상마처럼 내와이나 아니 저랑기 아니 또의 샤네 아니 다른 뭐지 그런 람반냠스로 배려 통 말했어.
So this is talking about how to preserve, the vows of the Bodhisattva once you have taken them. So if you keep the vows properly, then through that you can gain enlightenment in one lifetime by depending on the Vajra vehicle, the tantra. And in order to do that, of course, you have to go through all the stages, the path from the beginning, like the Guru devotion, the prophet human rebirth, and so forth. So once you do that, then you will be able to achieve the goal of enlightenment. It's not like something that you can just reach and get it. So you should not have that kind of short expectation to have the goal very quickly.
요 공제를 가봐야 소득 공제 안 되면 대사리 삼성 지금 수술 리더 스님 소화를 와이나 빠지는 영웅 수반이스.
And so when you meditate in that way, so if you feel like, oh, this is something that I can develop, so if you get that kind of feeling, then you have entered into the path of the practice.
Okay, ready? 다오나 다시 한쪽으로 샘샘을 가는 샤줍스는 이 저는 이유에서 맨샘샘은 주샘샘 맨샘샘한테 다 샘샘한테 팬도 오도 삼아치 그런 거지 주샘샘한테 다 대라 영화를 쳐도 약간 주받는 주샘을.
So the bodhicitta is divided into two parts, right? Like that's the wishing bodhicitta and engaging bodhicitta, or aspiring bodhicitta and involvement bodhicitta. So in aspiring or wishing bodhicitta is the mind that wishes to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings.
예전에 단어쇼고 저도 야나네 야만은 나고 산이 맞다. 저도 도기에서 묶은 거지라고 텔레멘스를 다디 로그서 묶은 것도 말라고 제발 먼저 라스는 조용히 말했어.
So the wishing or the aspiring bodhicitta is similar to the thought that you had last night before you come here today. Last night you said, oh, okay, tomorrow morning I'm going to wake up and then go to the center for the teaching. So that thought you had is similar to wishing bodhicitta. So if you have to keep that thought, right? If you don't keep that thought, if you lose that thought, then maybe you will not come to the center. The thought of coming to the center, if you lose that thought, you will not come to the center. So you have to keep that thought.
제가 다想着是근데 생전 탐정이도 산진 돕고 누구 삼을 공무대 말라고 지고 대 말라고 시하나 센다라 말라고 지고 담시잖아 기와시는 말라고 담시니요레스.
So if you don't have that thought, you will not be able to come to the center today, right? So similarly, you have to have that thought wanting to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of sentient all the time. If you have that thought, then you will work or strive to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient. Otherwise, you will not have or you will not engage in that practice.
야들마 정신나와이나 그렇게 전에 최소로 칼라 또 너무도 이거 말한다고 저는 칼라 프리오레스 대전동에서 그 뭐에 대하고 말해.
So sometimes if there's like a food provided at the center, right? Of course, we don't have during the Sunday teaching, we're going to have that. But like some community when they come together, they have that. So then there's a food today, so I'm going to go there. Then for the food, right? So if you generate a thought of coming to the center for food, then that's not a good thought.
야한테 뭐를 원한테 그 최소로는 민보한테는 가로라고 그랬어. 가로 똑똑하니 대형한테 나도 말했어.
Then sometimes you say, oh, you go to the center, then you will meet with all these people. Maybe then I might be able to find a girlfriend or boyfriend in the center. So if you come with that thought, that's not good thought either.
대지모도 그냥 남자로 들어요. 가만히요. 누가 유용을 한다.
Yeah, that's very possible, right? There are many centers people go and meet because they go to the center and they meet and then they live together like that.
지금 저지들 내도 저지로 내는 건지 연못쳐서 내용보다 대용을 대다 마무리면 다 그거하고 말까지.
So it happens in the churches also, right? People they go to the church and they meet and then they get married and so forth. But anyway, so if you go for that reason, then that's not a good motivation.
I'm not saying that bad, but in reason that is not Buddhism. 다 저는 그놈 로고 두서 그놈데 다시 한좀 탑이가 세들라 많이 받아 깨워시면 많이 많이 보지. 다 세들라게 가지고 그랬을 때 많이 많이 탑이 가려 했으나.
And so that's the motivation, right? So motivation is very important at the beginning. So you have to have the motivation, to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. And then to keep that mind, to have that bodhisattva, bodhicitta in your mind, what do you have to do? So first you have to think about the benefits of that bodhicitta. So this is very practical, right? Because if you understand the benefit, then you get involved in that. So just like, when you study, you go to college. Why? Because you see the benefit, right? You can get a job, you can make money, and so on. So you see the benefit, and therefore you do that. So here it's very similar, very practical, just like that's like in a general world. We see the benefit, so therefore we do it. So here, same. We see the benefit of bodhicitta, therefore we generate bodhicitta. So where do you see the benefits of bodhicitta? Where do you study from?
Okay, who's going to answer? Now.
Where do you study it from?
Yeah.
He's not going to his home. Where you find, where you study?
Well, in the Dharma book, saying like the six
Okay.
perfections.
Any text in particular you can study?
Like Shanti Deva's Bodhisattva is probably one of the better known.
Okay. Okay. Any other people? Specific? Okay. Anyone? Laura? Oh, you would.
Sorry, maybe like Nagarjuna or Chandrakirti's text.
Okay, good. You guys like running, walking around. It's good. Should you let it come with them? Tell how you want. Not to tap there. Not to cut it in you. Should you let it come with you?
So what is the first chapter of the Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life?
See?
So that the title it says, right? The title itself says the benefits of bodhicitta, awakening mind. So that's the way Geshe was asking about the specific one, right? So that's the one, the first chapter of the Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life. That, so His Holiness Dalai Lama, when he gave teaching on this Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life, he said you should read the first chapter all the time so that you can be familiar with the benefits of bodhicitta. So there's and then in general, the Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life in general is the best text for generating bodhicitta and to preserve the bodhicitta. So the more you read, the better understanding you gain. So like if you read 9 times, 9 times better understanding you gain.
Okay. You guys also said could do all different texts, correct? But specific, I think Lauren Guide to the Buddhahood, very short, 4th chapter, and you can first read, understand from that. Then you can also read others. It's good. Okay. What you have to do? So
actually there he talks about the benefit in the first chapter, right, of the Guide to this Way of Life. It talks about the benefits of bodhicitta. So just one of the benefits is that if you generate bodhicitta, you'll be happy. You'll be happy in this life. You'll be happy in future lives. So usually, when we have problems, right? We get into problems, or we have problems because of the self-cherishing attitude.
제자리 rander들은 상처성 텔리라고 말해. 얘네들은 상처성 텔리라고 말했어.
And so the self-choosing attitude, is the one that causes all the problems. So the best way to overcome that self-choosing attitude is the bodhicitta.
일단 쉬기나다 그럴 때 몸이 쉬었다만 간지 습비 두마 자타 쇼마도 상처성 텔 아니나 또이 말했어.
And so if you want to benefit yourself, you generate bodhicitta. So if you generate bodhicitta, it benefits yourself. And if you generate bodhicitta, it benefits others. So the best way to benefit oneself and others is the bodhicitta. So you should keep that bodhicitta all the time until the end of the cycle.
Okay, 아 강들의 상처성이 변해 대바이나 그냥 민주 생만이만 뱅그레스.
So if you remember, anyway, if you read that text that explains about the benefits of bodhicitta, and you understand or study that, then that will help you not to degenerate bodhicitta.
Okay.
A question?
Yes.
So she tells us to not selling into the 18 main vows for this modern ones, but I don't remember, I wasn't paying attention, but are they listed in this text? I don't remember seeing them.
It's 전년 가서 조교다 가서 자동 조교다 내니 이제 심시루디 뜻에 가서 경기 마고 저거랬어. 한테 디나는 송여를 했어. 디나는 송면 넣었어. 나 송여를 뭐라는데 다나시를 좀 봤어.
Okay. Who knows where they talk about?
Succession Guru Yoga.
Yeah.
But why do you say it here and then they're not? You don't know what they are.
제가 한번에 일단 같이 다음에는 무식만 합니다. 그래도 또 빼자 먹는 여러 번 되게 봤어요.
Because because he knows you already have the succession for you. No, but, I mean because when you have come to study the Lamia all the way to the end, he presumed that you already know about it. But anyway, so you have referred to the different texts where it's explaining about these vows.
The audience probably knew them.
That's right. Yeah.
It's all the monks, but this is all the monks. Okay. 단 당고도 가래 민주 members 샤지 산지 고마 투고도 삼에 삼로데 마냐와체다 산지도 배행 거래스.
So the first one is talking about here is to think about the benefits of bodhicitta in order to not degenerate bodhicitta.
아니 이바데 때문에마치다 쇼케스 님의 가슴 공단 태었음이야. 아니 상지도 양내한테 zon고 그래스.
And so and then secondly it talks about in order to not degenerate the bodhicitta you have to regenerate the bodhicitta. Regenerate the bodhicitta like 3 times in the day, 3 times in the night. So how do you do that?
산지 주소가 탈선데 그냥 샤베르. 스스지 제도나 여태만 에나야 니샤지 삼성을 해서 아주 샘게 고레스 산지 주소만 쇼케 그러면 되는데 그래.
So you have to generate the bodhicitta. Generate bodhicitta means to have that thought. I want to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all. So that thought, right? You have to have that thought. So how do you do that? Of course, best is if you can recite the 6 sessions of yoga. Otherwise, you can just recite that the refuge and bodhicitta verse 3 times in the day and 3 times in the night.
Right? In the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, I take refuge into enlightenment. Then what? Through the merit.
Giving
the rest.
This is very simple, right? So
if you recite a word verbally, then that will help you to think mentally, right?
The
first one is to think about the benefits, and the second one is to regenerate again and again. So then the thirdly, is not following other people when they say, oh, it's not possible to have bodhicitta. It's no use, no possible like that. And then also not having from your own side that thought, oh, there's no use to have bodhicitta. So in the root downfall, it talks about the root vows. It talks about giving up bodhicitta. So when do you give up bodhicitta? It's like when you think, oh, it's no use to have this thought, or no way I can have this thought. So therefore, I'm not going to have it like that. When you think that I'm not going to have it, then that's when you give up.
사실 너 강행되면서 로고도 다 뒤바지 사실 봉사가 다시 하면
So some people, when they return the books, Dharma books to the center, and then they are giving a bodhicitta.
그래서 대부 그 수수는 나 제일 위해서는 고통을 옛날 영화.
So if you say I'm not going to have it, I'm not going to think that way, then you give like bodhicitta, then you give up bodhicitta. That's how you lose bodhicitta.
이런 빌딩이 이런 내는 오케이 제가 드리지 말했어. 다시 와대 아니 되게 사실 좀 깨야지 수수지 초소하고 그래서.
And then fourth, is that in order to regenerate that kind of bodhicitta, or to even to generate for the first time, and then to regenerate that kind of bodhicitta, all the time, you have to accumulate a big amount of merits.
어제 다 드리지와는 저한테 세 달러 아니 샤지서마다 많이만 샤지 메시지 많이만 편들이.
So this is talking about the wishing bodhicitta, right? So we have the wishing bodhicitta. So if you do those four, then that will help you not degenerate the wishing bodhicitta in this life.
아 되죠. 다 제가 시험을 많이 하면 시작하는 거야. 아니 어디까지 왔나?
Then what do you do? To not degenerate in the future lives?
다 소소고 라마다 아니 참 개개서 뭐가다요 말했어. 되잖아요. 됨 딱으로 뭐가다는 제와시 많이 하려고 이 봐요.
And so in order to preserve the bodhicitta or not degenerate the bodhicitta in the future life, you should not deceive your teachers, your spiritual teachers, spiritual guides. If you do that, then you might degenerate bodhicitta in the future lives.
아니 얘기해서 말하니 가도록 여와를 시험이나 냐면
And then if someone else is doing good, in generating bodhicitta or doing the practice and so forth, then you should not be jealous with that. If you are jealous, then you might degenerate bodhicitta.
아니 지금 상주 생활을 되니까 냐면 줘봐야나 냐면 그래.
And then also if you say bad things or bad words to the bodhisattvas, then you will degenerate bodhicitta.
아니 나서 마음에 요지된 시험이나 되게 남부 주시 시험이나 아니 냐면 그래.
So if you do the things cunningly, to deceive others, not with the superior intention, but to deceive others, you do things like that, then that also will cause to degenerate bodhicitta.
어떤 때는 남부 주시라 그래 남부 주시.
So those are the four negative activities.
다 대다 가나 아니 시주다 좀 봐도 아니 요즘만 봐 정보시 봐도 아니 샤저고 생각이야 진짜 가와제 봐도 아니
좋습니다.
가와제 봐 또부터 샤저는 가와제 봐 또와제 다시 봐도 안 되지 봐도 아니지 마음 동화 가리를 소 주바이나 내가 깔고 주시지 그래 안 되잖아 요시만 좀 말해
Dimishiro.
못한 좀 시봐 시제는 마마 좀 봐봐 너 아니 요즘에 봐 정보시 봐
So not telling lies and not deceiving others, being honest,
아니 샤저고 생각 똑같아요 가오요
and then praising about bodhicitta. So if someone who acts with bodhicitta, praising them with that.
아니 지금 나빠 줘 봐. 아니 다음에 제가 라다 신지 지금甚至대면 막 샤워샤워나 하고 그랬어.
And then doing the things to rapid one's and others bodhicitta, and those are the good things.
그래. 다 되네. 다 되면 다 주습도 많이 하고 답시가리 그랬으나.
So that is the wishing bodhicitta. Right? So now the next is the engaging bodhicitta. What methods can you use to not degenerate engaging bodhicitta?
주습 세대 그래서는 대리 산집 생기 냠의 제게 있어. 아니 대 요하라게 송고야 가리도 송고야 저거 가리도 저거에서 대리 남자들은 주습.
So the engaging bodhicitta is, of course, with that thought, right? So with that thought, I'm going to engage in whatever practice I need to gain enlightenment, or whatever vows that I have to keep, I will keep them to gain enlightenment, like that. So that thought is called engaging bodhicitta.
Okay. 다 내가 다 들었다도 좀 제대로 이제 시도해줘야지.
And so for that, those are the vows. Now the 18 root vows, and then the 46 secondary vows.
Too much, right? 다 되는 다도 좀 제대로 이제 시도들마다 다도 좀 제대로 이틀은 나요래.
The 18 root vows, those are explained in the 6th section Guru Yoga.
이만 더서 내려오지 다 간다 너도로 제와이나 아니 지금 수습을 세게 돈이 젬백 삼바데 마타와이 바이나 아니 되냐고 말해.
So of course, it explains in detail about these vows, but in short, if you just don't give up, the wish to benefit others, help others, then you will not degenerate bodhicitta.
Okay. 같은데 냐면 고는 배워라 다 고신에 대해서인데 유소주로 봤다 탐 공고사 되올 먹도.
And then, of course, in detail, in order to do all this practice properly and to gain enlightenment fully, then you have to do all this practice, starting from the Guru devotion, the perfect memory birth, and all the way to the unification of the under the state of the unification, or the state of the unification of normal learning. Until you achieve that, then you have to do all this practice. So in detail, of course, extensively, you have to do all this practice to keep the bodhicitta.
Okay. 다다도 좀 제가 이해시키는 세대. 다 이해되는 까지 예반적으로 했어요. 도마 많이 만나. 다도 세대까지 도마 냠소나 내가 지나 저는 도마 내가 저는 다도 세대. 예전에 도마 냠는데 좀 예반에 되어 나세요.
So in the root vows, when it talks about the root vow means that this is the root. So if you break that, then you no longer have the bodhicitta. But the secondary vows, even if you break it, you don't lose the bodhicitta, and the bodhicitta will be still there, but you create negative karma by doing that, more heavier negative karma than people without the bodhisattva vow.
Okay. 다다도 좀 다하니 그 니가 쇼딩 그 좋은 말이에요. 근데 조사지 니가 님이 쇼 말. 좀 전에 님이 쇼. 이때 쇼다 좋은 말. 내가 쇼다 쇼다.
And then in the 18 root vows, there are two only. That moment you engage in those actions, then you lose the bodhicitta.
근데 신바 좀 전에 니는 가도. 지금 때그 니제 말하고 신사고 대만 좋은 말.
So, but for the other 16, you have to have all the conditions. Just by engaging in it, you don't lose the bodhicitta. You engage in, and then you have all these 4 conditions, and apply to that, then you lose the bodhicitta. So, if you are wondering whether you have received bodhisattva vow or not, then think about the initiations you have received. If you have received initiations, then you have received bodhisattva vow.
Okay. 제자가 하는 것은 tunduti 거는 된거 때 이제 지대기네요.
And this is the reason why we have to keep on reading the succession Guru Yoga.
Okay. 다 쪽적은 삼아 마셔봐야 하는데 대슈바든지 아니 예바키도 대까지 하고.
So among the 18 root vows, there are 2 I mentioned, right? So that even if you don't have other conditions, but just by having it by itself, you will lose bodhicitta. You know what those 2 are?
The 9th and the 18th.
Good. And then Kawada Kare.
What is the 9th?
Okay, this is another person. No, you will not read. Chondogi, Chondogi, we get Tamadeva. Look, you do Lota.
서들어보는 모습은 주석을 통해서 님에도 저도 말하는 가고 맞아 되면 그래서
가면 다되고 그러시더라고.
상고주로 그러다.
오케이. 상고주로 다 물고가 가는 로타다 산주산도. 로타된 거와는 산주산도 어디 쪽지 말해. 대니사나 안에 그릇이 상고 말해서 그릇이 되죠. 네. 샴바도 계란 그릇이 상고 그래서. 대니가 그릇 상고 말고 그 쇼가 되는 정도 그래서.
그 대접봉화성을 로다.
로타다 안에 산주산도.
So last one, what is the 9th one?
Wrong views.
Wrong view, yeah. And then the 18th?
Giving up bodhicitta.
Giving up bodhicitta.
괜히 그 쇼에 그릇 상고 말해서. 그놈 개고 그 쇼에 차로 그런 거.
Those 2, once you have it, once you have the wrong view, then you give up bodhicitta. And 다디안 로다스 로다스 믹스 로다스 남주치다 로다 거래.
다디 로다는 다 다디 로다데 아니 레지데나 경험하셔다. 상주산이야. 아니 딱 그걸로 봤다.
And so here again, also when you talk about the wrong view, so this is actually the general wrong view. So like the wrong view, like not believing in past and future lives or on a karmic law of cause and effect. and say there's no enlightenment or no way to generate bodhicitta and so forth. So that kind of wrong view. So and the 18th one, is the giving up bodhicitta. So that's like, so I'm not going to have it like that. So that part. So these two, you don't have to have other four conditions to break the vow or to lose the vow completely. Other 16s, you have to have these four conditions applied, to become the cause to break or to lose the bodhicitta.
Okay, what the four conditions?
What are the four conditions?
Hold on. Okay, that's another person.
Not seeing them as false,
No.
not seeing them as false, not giving up the wish to engage in them, doing them with delight and satisfaction, and then having no shame or consideration.
So these are the four conditions. So if you don't have those conditions with the other root vows, then you don't break or lose the bodhicitta.
Okay. Any questions? It's not easy, Chad.
So once you have generated bodhicitta, you don't easily lose it. So don't worry. But if you engage in the wrong actions, then of course you create more negative karma than other people without bodhicitta or what sort of vow. So there's also one of the vow is to not rely on a wrong teacher or wrong spiritual master or teacher. So like in this case, the wrong teacher will like even someone says like a Hinayana teacher, even like a Hinayana teacher, the wrong teacher in this case. So where Hinayana, the main motivation in the Hinayana practice is to mainly liberate yourself. Of course, you work for others, but mainly for yourself. So like that. So when you follow those kind of teachers, then you may degenerate bodhicitta. You just think about mainly of yourself. So therefore, you don't think about others as the main person. And therefore, you should not rely on such kind of teachers. So if you rely on such kind of teachers, that is one of the downfalls. I mean, the breaking vows.
Okay.
So second one is what? Not think of it as a fault.
The four conditions, not seeing them as fault.
Not seeing as a fault.
Doing them with.
What do you think? What means that?
Not seeing what as a fault.
Breaking the vow, like doing it and not thinking you're doing anything wrong.
The domba nyamchubada, domba nyamba nyamchubada, nyamchubadra, domba nyamba chabadra, then kasa nyamabadras.
What do you think? And they coach for us. And they move to us. Either by the Kaji Suzu and then the Geo Chukara Shuba de Nimutawas. And remember now.
Other Lamanu Malacha Kusa,
Humama.
I miss under Humbani Buddhism.
Good is the audio. It's how good you got the Changamata.
Galazza chata chama ko tambe ko da ni ko ke sun sun de ni da ko chen pa la mi do de jala ala ba mo zo tilme good 예민입니다. 예민입니다. 저도 말로.
아니 강가시.
못하지. 나는 못하지 팀에지.
강가시 못하지 뒤지 바지.
가고.
가와든. 대체는 가지 돌이 되죠. 대체는 님 말로 그러세요. 대시고 참고 그래서 시험하는 거는
네.
이거 말이야. 다 먹고서 가는 lok다당 샹식선 동안이라고 보고 말이지.
So anyway, you have to have these, right? So not seeing as a fault, and then 저도 말로버스가 돼. 저도 말로버스는 이미입니다. 저도 말로버스. 가고 못해 되면 가고 아니 못 사면 되겠어.
저도 말하는데 그래. 동바 그래. 그 동바 냠바라 양주 투유 소소 공약이 소소래야기 아니 지금으로 공감해봐 가보면
So the first one is not seeing as a fault, and second one is not fixing it. Huh? Not force.
Not giving up the wish
Wish
to engage.
to the
Yeah.
아니 지금에 이미 뭐는 되는 이 방법이
And then the third one is
Doing it, yeah, taking the light, doing it with the
gago, yeah.
아니 다 그냥
And then the fourth one,
no shame.
no shame in doing it that, right? So it's anyway. So yeah, so those are the four, right? So you need for those four for the other 16s, but these two, the 9th and the 18th, you don't need that. Even if you don't have this, you break your vows. So you need to have all these four for the others, so you won't easily lose it.
Okay. 가제 배나 만든다. 가지 그지도 배나 야생도 배나 제모도 또 저거는 야부요. 강고 님은 못 왔던 적으로.
Like taking a delight, in doing the things like delightfully, killing like fish, as a sport and stuff like that. So that's the kind of things we're talking about here.
그거 님이 되게 말어.
So you're not seeing that as a fault,
가지 조리 책으로.
and then you do it delightfully,
오다가 정말 책임만 드려요 말어.
and then you don't feel shame of doing that, like that. So those kind of things.
제가 빠빼 되는 거지.
So similar to that. That's kind of example.
나도 마저 드리는 거 쇼 말어.
Most of us were the ones we have taken birth of the vows. We don't get that kind of, we don't apply those kind of four conditions, right?
제가 두 번째는 너무 가지 고진 두 번째는 그치 말어.
So like when you get into a fight, do you do it delightfully? Delightfully fight, punch other?
Okay. Yes.
I have a question specifically about the wrong views. What are included in the wrong views? You mentioned cause and effect, not believing in or not understanding cause and effect, or past and future lives. Are there anything else in there?
로타시에도 가르쳤어. 저 같이 해봤다 왔다, 레드 밑에 봤다.
네 레드에서 다 이렇게 와서 받는 데와 대화다.
딩마를 시작하려고 레드 딩마바.
뭐라고 해? any other things?
Not believing in karmic law of cause and effect, not believing in past and future lives. I think are the two main ones.
And then also refuge, like not believing in the refuge, not believing in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, that they have the power to protect you, and so forth. So that's those, like general, wrong view.
Okay. Yes.
So without those four conditions, you can't break 16 of them from the root, but you still would need to retake them if you broke.
Yeah, of course, of course. 제가 남들 주셔도 뭐라 저랑 뭐만 야면은 안돼 알아서 먼저 보는 고뇌 거 배우지요. 괜찮습니다.
근데 구두시 마찬가지는 제가 주바이나 제가 주룩들 주바이나 안테네 전주쌤 양거를 했어. 양거 알서고 했어.
양거에서 말이야. 그냥 예봐줘.
알서고 했어.
나도 거기 냠사는 거기 냠사는 거 예봐도 싶어. 아니 아니.
예봐 보여도 알서고.
네,
사원에 또
말이야.
So you don't break it, you don't lose it from the root. Means you still have bodhicitta, but because you have studied it, therefore you can still restore it. You can do you have to do the restoration.
Yes, you have to do the restoration.
Restoration,
You
yes.
can't just say, "Oh, I didn't break it from the root." So
Yeah, so I don't know, not like this. So restoration is not like you have gone completely, and then so this like regenerating is like reinforcing your bodhicitta, so making you think about the bodhicitta more and then making it more stronger.
For example, you broken some part of your car. Maybe you don't necessarily need it, but it's broken. You have to fix. If you don't fix, you can drive it, still like that. But still, in order to keep your path, you need to fix. It's like that. And 시간마다 칭찬하고 좋아해나? 아니 나 예제요. 예봐요. 예제는 예봐줘 그랬어.
So in order to like completely break it, you have to have all fours. But if you don't, even if you don't have all fours, but you have one of them, then still, you know, you solid it, or maybe like you have damaged it, not completely, but you have damages. So therefore, it's good to restore it.
But hey, when
According to this, you know, like I don't think you will easily lose the bodhicitta, right? So you have to go to the extreme, you know, of like not believing karmic law was like our past future lives and refuge and so forth. And if you do that, then of course you give up bodhicitta, and then or you say, oh, I'm not going to have bodhicitta. I'm not going to have bodhicitta anymore. I'm not going to engage in the Mahayana path anymore. Like that. If you have that, then you give up bodhicitta. So there's no way to benefit all sentient beings. You know, and there's no way I can benefit all sentient beings. If you think like that, then also you're kind of giving up bodhicitta.
Okay.
So that's in general, you know, about that explanation. So is there any particular questions you have from that section?
Yes, so I have a question.
Okay.
When in the second Bodhisattva vow, not sharing my wealth or the Dharma, could you explain what not sharing the Dharma means?
Not sharing the Dharma. Dhatu Shema, Chönor Midarshan. Chönor Midarshan.
제가 뒤에서는 아니 소설하면 딱 미치게 추구를 저저이나 아니 그놈만 봐. 근데 고시에 염나 지난 안에 콜하고 말이지. 야나 그놈 도와지겠다. 선화로 제제 마시고 달라는 거죠.
So if you have the knowledge of the Dharma, then you should share it if someone asks for it, right? If someone says, "Oh, I want to learn about it," you seem to know it. Can you please explain to me, or can you please teach me? Then you should, happily, with the thought to benefit that person, you should, share. So if you don't, if you think, "Oh, I should not share because if I teach him, then he will learn, and he might become even more. He might become even better than me, or he will become more famous than me." Like that. With that thought, if you don't teach, then that is the second one. You break the whole subtle vow. And then like if you have the Dharma books that you can share, or you take a note, Dharma notes, and some people they don't want to share their notes, right? So then if someone says, "Oh, what did the teacher say? Can you please share your note with me?" Then you should share it, happily to benefit others, to help others. If you don't do, then that is what it talks about. Not sharing the Dharma.
Okay. Any other questions? Oh, Kelly, you have? Oh, you forgot it. Okay, that's okay. Now it's I have to also I have to go somewhere. Okay. The whole
So then that's the Lamrim dedication prayer, right? The final Lamrim dedication prayer that we do. So that we'll do it later. That's what it's talking about here. So you know how long we've been studying this for? For about 10 years now. So from the time we started, it's been about 10 years. And many people who came at the beginning are no longer here. And some they came, some they left, right? So that some they came in the middle, some they came towards the end. So anyway, whenever you came, or if you came from the beginning and you're still here until now, then that's very good. Or if you just participated in part of it, still you have created so much more merit. So let's all dedicate these merits for the benefit of us. So this is very similar to the great stages of path enlightenment by Lama Tsongkhapa, but this is maybe a little bit easier to understand in some sections.
사무실 가고 사무중.
So His Holiness Dalai Lama gave the commentary on this 18 and the great Lamrim texts.
근데 이제 시쪽에는 진짜로
저쪽에서 말해. 예.
쪽에는 이제
Is it 8 or 18?
18이야. 제가 이제 정말 최종라면을 선보라면을 지내요. 그러니까 아마 아니 다 농지라서 같이 팬 에너지로.
Anyway, so there are many different kind of texts that explains about Lamrim. So some are more extensive, like the great stages of body, and this one also in great length in some section. And there are some part, they're like the middle length Lamrim, those explain a little bit shorter, and then even more shorter, like the lines of experience and so forth. So there are short Lamrim like that. So there are 18 different Lamrim texts. And Geshe Tenley, he has been very fortunate, to receive the transmission of all these 18 Lamrim texts from His Holiness Dalai Lama. So although might not have all the knowledge, but they definitely have received the blessings. So though he said he hasn't been able to maybe explain all the text or share you all the knowledge, but at least share with you the blessing. So the blessings of the transmission, coming from the guru to the disciple, the guru to disciple, and then the guru to disciple, and like that.
제가 뒤에다가까지 동화 용토고 있냐면 처음 당대와까지 근데 대화 개의 준비 체험량에 저도 당대와요.
And so this teaching of the Lamrim on the Lamrim, it includes all the practices, all the teachings, all the practices of the both Sutra and Tantra, and all the three capable beings.
오케이, 제가 지금 한번 오늘 제만에 한 주셔서 거짓말 로나야 버려. 그러니까 방샤샤로 걸어.
So even if you have not been able to come from the beginning, but you can still study. We have the book. You can still study or read yourself. At least you leave imprint in your mind.
Okay, then you start.
Turn to page 39. I'm going to read it quite slowly this time. No?
Okay.
Okay, never mind. No, regular speed. Regular speed, okay, never mind. Saji For my two collections, vast space that I have amassed from working with effort in this practice for a great length of time. May I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds, wisdom minds, find life. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all my lives and retreat. May I find the best of complete radiance of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by practicing. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness of the minds of all beings with the points of the path as I have discerned them. May I hold Buddha's teachings for a very long time. with my heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings
No,
will
no,
not
no,
be
no, no,
spread or
no,
will spread
no,
every far. I have revealed the treasure I have to stay in the mind of the I have possessed these scenarios for a long time. I even have created courses in my life. Due to whatever virtues have may all human and non-human beings be eliminated or succeed. They make any students or guides to the next path. Never be part of any of their lives or the pure path they follow. Whenever someone makes an effort to act in accordance with noble and virtuous practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread